Mangwanani Malelepo Fukenjani Keklas Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, your portal into Africa's potent stories. Today, Namibia honors its brave daughters and sons on Heroes Day, a solemn reminder of the sacrifices that paved the path to freedom. We remember those who stood fearlessly against oppression, who gave their voices, their strength, and their lives so that future generations could live in dignity and peace. Their courage lives on in the heartbeat of our nation, inspiring unity, resilience, and hope. As we reflect on their legacy, let us recommit ourselves to building the Namibia they dreamed of, a nation boundless in spirit, rich in heritage, and steadfast in purpose. The Namibian presidency announced that President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah met with leaders of the Masubia, Mayeyi, and Mafwe and Mashi traditional authorities in Zambezi region ahead of Heroes Day. She said it was important to first honor traditional leaders before official events. Nandi-Ndaitwah will officiate today's commemoration at the Katima Mulilo Sports Complex. On today's show, we begin in Cameroon, where President Paul Biya has been cleared to seek an unprecedented 8th term. We then look at the UN's urgent warning on rising attacks against health workers and aid responders across conflict zones globally. In South Africa, US aid cuts threaten to derail the country's HIV response, while Eswatini faces a heated legal battle over a secret deportation deal with the US. President Hakainde Hichilema rallies Zambia's church to promote unity. Watch us on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, and NTV Africa on YouTube. Keeping in mind, talent Gore also joins us as she delivers the Zimbabwe report. My name is Ashwin Bedi. Welcome to Africa Good Morning.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Cameroon's Constitutional Court has ruled in favor of President Paul Biya's candidacy, allowing the 92-year-old leader to contest the October 12 elections for an unprecedented 8th term, according to Solomon Ekanem. Biya, who has ruled since 1982, faced a legal challenge from opposition figure Akere Muna, who questioned his fitness to govern due to age and health concerns. Muna accepted the court's decision, but warned that doubts over Biya's capacity remain, accusing him of delegating state duties to his inner circle and wife. 13 candidates have been cleared to contest, with Biya favored due to the ruling party's control over institutions. Opposition leader Maurice Kamto was barred, while defections by Bello Boba Maigari and Issa Shiroma risk fragmenting opposition votes. The election unfolds amid conflict in Anglophone regions, Boko Haram attacks, poverty, and youth disillusionment. Biya's candidacy mirrors broader African patterns where entrenched leaders remain despite health crises and public unrest, continuing nearly 43 years of dominance over Cameroon's political future. Moving on. Health facilities, aid workers, and emergency responders are increasingly under attack in global conflict zones, warns the UNFPA. The UN News Service. Between 2023 and 2024, attacks against healthcare facilities doubled, with over 900 health workers killed last year, while 2025 is on pace to surpass those numbers. In Gaza, nearly 2 years of war have devastated hospitals, forcing midwives to deliver babies in hallways. And this is where, in an example of this, is a lady where 37 relatives were killed in an airstrike while she was delivering. a baby. Sudan's health system has collapsed, with 80% of facilities in conflict areas non-operational, leaving midwives who risk their lives reaching patients at home. Haiti's hospitals face relentless attacks from armed gangs, forcing the closure of 3 UNFPA safe spaces for women amid rampant sexual violence. Ukraine reports over 300 Russian strikes on health facilities since January, compounding maternal care crises. Eastern DR Congo's maternal clinics face bombings and looting, leaving mobile UNFPA teams as the only option for women. Across continents, collapsing health systems intensify humanitarian disasters, says the report. South Africa's world-leading HIV program faces collapse after the United States slashed $427 million in aid, reports African News and AP. Now, the funding loss has forced 12 clinics to close, cutting off care for over 63,000 people, while 220,000 face disruptions to daily antiretroviral access. Patients, including sex workers, report being turned away from public hospitals despite government assurances. Many now resort to black market medication, where prices have nearly doubled. Yvette Raphael, co-founder of the Advocacy for Prevention of HIV and AIDS, warned of rising infections, preventable deaths, and infants born with HIV due to dwindling services. With an estimated 8 million South Africans living with HIV and only 2 million on treatment before the cuts, experts predict a surge in new cases. The U.S. granted a limited waiver to allow some services to resume, but the damage is widespread. Patients accuse the Trump administration of disregarding African lives, while local authorities struggle to fill the funding gap, raising fears of setbacks in decades-long progress against the epidemic. Eswatini's controversial agreement with the United States to accept third-country deportees has sparked a legal showdown, reports Solomon Ekanema. The Eswatini Litigation Center, supported by the Southern Africa Litigation Center, argues the deal violates the Constitution as it bypassed Parliament and lacked public disclosure. 5 individuals were deported in July under the arrangement, drawing outrage from activists citing human rights and national security risks. The High Court hearing, initially set for Friday, was postponed after the government failed to file its response. Attorney General Sifiso Khumalo dismissed the lawsuit as frivolous, insisting the agreement strengthens ties with Washington and poses no security threats. Government spokesperson Tabile Mdludli admitted sensitive concerns but stressed compliance with international protocols, revealing that the International Organization for Migration will assist with onward transfers of detainees. The case has intensified scrutiny of King Mswati III's administration, spotlighting Eswatini's opaque governance and raising broader debates on transparency, accountability, and the implications of secretive international agreements on human rights within the kingdom. And the last of our top stories. President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia has called on the church to strengthen unity, moral values, and youth participation in leadership, addressing thousands at the Zambia Baptist Union General Conference in Mpongwe, reports local correspondents. He urged churches to combat social media abuse, foster inclusivity, and guide public service workers in driving development. Hichilema praised the Baptist Church for its contributions in health, education, and economic growth, reaffirming government partnerships and free education policies benefiting 2 million pupils. He encouraged older citizens to return to school, celebrating the church's 120 years of service. Hichilema pledged 1 million kwacha towards church projects and 200,000 kwacha towards conference expenses, while promising to address challenges facing maize purchases through discussions with the Food Reserve Agency. He highlighted Copper Belt's strong maize output and assured residents that planned roadworks remain active despite financial constraints. Baptist Union President Lodwo Chinyakasa praised government efforts, citing job creation, debt restructuring, and expanded constituency funds, urging continued prayers for peace, unity, and stability as Zambia prepares for next year's general elections. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. Shortly, we'll be talking to Talent Gore as she delivers the news from Zimbabwe. But prior to that, let's have a look at the weather. All right, it's time for us to talk to Talent Gore as she delivers the Zimbabwe report. Talent Wamukase.
Tamka Dukana Mamkao, Mamkase Africa.
Tamukahedu. Now, the Parliament of Zimbabwe is considering a proposal to amend the law to ban smoking in public places. Tell us more.
Yes, the motion, if adopted, will see the law extending its coverage to high-traffic public areas, including bus termini and markets, which are not banned under current regulation. While the law prohibits smoking in some public spaces like buses, wards, and eating places, it, however, does not address smoking in open but congested areas where people gather. Legislators in Parliament expressed concern over the health risk caused by passive smoking, especially to vulnerable groups. They said that children and vulnerable populations are particularly at risk as their developing bodies are more vulnerable to the harmful effects of tobacco smoke. So right now we're just hoping, rather the citizens themselves are just hoping that this new law will actually come into motion, because as you know, Zimbabwe does have places which are banned from smoking, but within public spaces like bus termini, in markets, everyone and anyone can just smoke it willy-nilly. And now the parliament is saying that there should be a ban on those places. They should be designated places in which people are allowed to smoke. Not everyone should be allowed to smoke anywhere and everywhere. You find out that in the streets of Harare, when you're just walking, you can actually inhale tobacco. People smoke whenever and wherever they want. So they are just hopes that probably this new law will actually come into effect.
Very interesting, Talent, but certainly a public good. I know Namibia passed that law several years ago. Now, moving on. The government is maintaining a fishing ban on Lake Chivero.
Yes, last year in December, the government banned fishing at Lake Chivero, and the government has maintained the ban on fishing in Lake Chivero, highlighting several environmental and public health risks caused by pollution from untreated industrial and municipal waste. Fishing activities in Lake Chivero were banned in December last year following the death of 4 white rhinos, 3 zebras, several wild beasts, 4 fish eagles, livestock, and countless fish after ingesting the lake's contaminated water. The deaths were blamed on raw affluent and industrial discharges from Harare and surrounding areas. Speaking during a question and answer session in the National Assembly, Environment, Climate and Wildlife Minister Evelyn Ndlovu said that the decision followed a cabinet resolution and would remain in effect until pollution concerns were fully addressed. Minister Ndlovu said although previous assessments by the Ministry of Health and Childcare indicated that fish from the lake may be safe for consumption, the broader risk from ongoing contamination made it unsafe to lift the ban. So the ban will remain until the government says otherwise. But as of now, fishing is not allowed since December at Lake Chivero, and most people, rather, they depended, actually those who stay around Lake Chivero, they depended on fishing. They were fishing from the lake and they would sell that for their livelihoods. But as of now, as of December up until now, the ban is still on, and the government is saying that they will only lift the ban when they hear otherwise. But as of now, the ban still stands.
All right, Talent. Now, the government says it is engaging the United States to lift the suspension of visa applications for Zimbabweans wishing to travel to that country for work, study, and business. And this was quite a potent subject across Zimbabwean social media. I saw there was a lady whose son had been approved for a scholarship, and all that was left was the final stage of the visa process, Talent, and the U.S. suspended that.
Yes, on August 8 this year, as you may all know, Washington announced a pause on all routine visa applications for Zimbabwean citizens after adjusting its visa reciprocal policy a month earlier. The freeze has grounded Zimbabweans who had secured travel, education, job, and other opportunities in the United States. It emerged yesterday. According to the United States Department of State, diplomatic and official visas will be exempted from the pause. Yesterday, the United States Embassy in Harare emphasized that it was temporarily stopping all visa applications. They said that while we address concerns with the government of Zimbabwe, while they address concerns with the government of Zimbabwe. But the spokesperson of the government, Nick Mangwana, said that authorities had reached out to the US over the matter. He said that government's approach to diplomacy is characterized by respectful and discreet engagement. He also added that right now they can't say more, but rather that they had engaged the US for a way forward because most Zimbabweans they had been given scholarships. Some they had job opportunities in the United States, but as of now, all of that has been put on hold, and people are just skeptical. They don't know what to do, so they are just waiting. So the government has said that they are engaging. They have said that they are engaging the United States on the matter, and they haven't told us what are the outcomes from that meeting, or rather from whatever the government and the United States embassy in particular are saying in particular to that, in relation to that to the Zimbabweans' concerns in regards to going to the United States. So we're just waiting to hear what the government will have to say. What's the outcome of their meeting with the United States on issues to do with citizens from Zimbabwe traveling to the United States.
All right, Talent. Now, in the last of your updates, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has handed over title deeds to 1,000 farmers under the Presidential Title Deeds Program.
Yes, President Emmerson Mnangagwa yesterday brought to joy 1,000 A1 farmers from Mashonaland Central as he issued the title deeds under the second round of the Presidential Title Deeds Program. In addition to being issued the crucial documents, the beneficiaries will benefit from the Productivity Booster Kit program, which was also launched yesterday. The Productivity Booster Kits are an irrigation package designed to cover 1 hectare of irrigated land per farmer. Each kit has pumps, pipe, sprinklers, and related equipment meant to provide assistance to farmers to handle the challenges posed by climate change. These kits will also be made available to smallholder tobacco farmers. To support the program, technical service centers will be established in each of the 10 provinces in the country, in Zimbabwe. So at least 1,000 A1 farmers in Mashonaland Central Province benefited. They got title deeds, and they're also going to benefit from this booster kits. And the program is going around the country. And so far, the president has handed over to Mashonaland Central Province and other provinces, but he'll be going around the country giving out title deeds to farmers who do not have title deeds, and also these newly launched productivity booster kits.
All right. Thank you very much, Talent, for delivering the Zimbabwe report.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for having me.
It's always wonderful having you on Africa Good Morning. We're going to take a quick break before we return talking about South Africa's latest measure to boost revenue, and it involves millionaires.
When the sun sets, the news begins. Welcome to Sunset News, bringing you the latest headlines, in-depth community stories, economic updates, sports highlights, and your daily weather forecast. Join us every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. on DSTV channel 285 and GOTV channel 25, or stream us online at oneup2.com. Join us on Facebook at Sunset News to stay updated.
In economic news, South Africa's government is considering lowering the asset threshold for its high wealth individual tax unit to widen oversight and enhance revenue collection, reports Adenkule Agebetilioye. Currently, individuals with assets exceeding 75 million rand are tracked, but proposals aim to include a broader pool of wealthy taxpayers. The South African Revenue Service reported 4,084 monitored individuals by March last year, far below private sector estimates of over 37,400 millionaires. The proposed changes include assigning dedicated relationship managers and tailored services for high wealth taxpayers, aiming to increase compliance without introducing new levies. Treasury has already required taxpayers with assets above 50 million rand to declare securities and liabilities, improving wealth mapping. While some lawmakers push for wealth tax, officials warn this could trigger capital flight and reduce revenue. With coalition disputes forcing multiple budget revisions, the government seeks new ways to stabilize finances while safeguarding economic competitiveness. Parliamentary data suggests top earners emigration could cost South Africa up to 49 billion rand annually, intensifying the need for stricter high net worth oversight. Let's have a look at the economic indicators before we come back to say goodbye. Thank you for staying with Africa Good Morning on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, Network Media Hub on YouTube, as well as NTV Africa on YouTube, and of course, oneup2.com. That's ONEUPTWO.com. When you go to oneup2.com, to your right, if you click the icon written Echo, you have access to this episode that you've just watched, other Africa Good Morning episodes, and all NTV programming, because on oneup2.com's Echo Primetime is anytime. From me, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, we hold hands with Namibia as we commemorate Heroes Day on the 26th of August 2025. Swera Jakanaka.